Hello everyone. Today we will be working on lesson 4, that is fractions, percents, and decimals. This is still in booklet number 3. Now, in previous lessons, we learned that there are 3 different ways to write a percentage. You can write it as the percentage itself, let's say 53%. You could write it as a fraction, such as 53 over 100, or you could write it as a decimal, such as 0.53. In previous lessons, we even learned how to convert from a decimal to a fraction, as well as a fraction to a decimal. In this lesson, we're going to start off by learning how to express a fraction as a decimal if this fraction isn't over 100. Let's take a look. So in math, the fraction bar, which is this guy right here, this horizontal bar between the 2 and the 5, the fraction bar means divide. When you divide the numerator, which is the number on top, by the denominator, the number on the bottom, you end up with a decimal. And this decimal can be used to represent a percent. So let's say we have 2 over 5. If we want to turn this into a decimal, we would quite literally type 2 divided by 5 into our calculator. Sorry guys, that is my dog. Give her a second to calm down. Okay, so we would quite literally type 2 divided by 5 into our calculator. When you do that, I should grab a calculator. Give me a second. When you do so, you will get an answer of 0.4. Pretty straightforward. Just type what you see into the calculator and you will get a decimal. Let's try some of the next questions. 3 over 8. What is that as a decimal? Plug 3 divided by 8 into your calculator and you are going to get an answer of 0.375. Express 5 over 20 as a decimal. Well, 5 divided by 20 is going to equal 0.25. Now, it's great that you can write fractions as decimals, but what would be really helpful is if we can also write them as a percent. Remember, this is the third form that you can write it in. So, example 2, express 4 over 16 as a percent. Now, you can't actually go directly from a fraction to a percent. We need to take a step in between and turn it into a decimal first. So let's do that. 4 divided by 16 is equal to 0.25. That is our decimal. And we know how to turn a decimal into a percent. That was in lesson 3. We're going to take 0.25, multiply it by 100, and the answer is going to be 25. And now we can throw a percent symbol at the end. So 4 over 16 is equal to 25%. This is useful if you ever get, for example, marks back on a test. I hope that you never have to get a test back that is 4 out of 16, but if you only got 4 out of 16 marks on a test, that would mean you got 25% on it. All right. So Try the next couple questions on your own, convert the fractions into percentages, and then come back to the video and make sure that they match mine. So example A, express 2 over 20 as a percentage. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to convert it to a decimal. And we do that by dividing 2 by 20. Now 2 divided by 20 should be 0.1. Great. Step 2 is to write as a percent. And in order to turn a decimal into a percent, we multiply by 100. Using a calculator or in your head by moving the decimal over 2 spaces, 0.1 times 100 is equal to 10%. When you might see this in day-to-day life, if I tell you that 2 out of 20 of my students are missing from class today, that's another way of saying 10% of my class is absent or missing. Okay. Question B. We need to express 3 out of 60 as a percent. Step 1, we're going to divide 3 by 60. That is going to equal, well, we don't need to be that zoomed out. That is going to equal 0.05. Step 2, we take our decimal 0.05, we multiply it by 100. In other words, we move the decimal twice, and we get 5%. All right, an example of when you might use something like this in day-to-day life. Let's say that I have a car that has a gas tank that can fit 60 liters of gas, and I'm really low on gas, right? My car tells me you only have 5% of gas remaining. Well, that's the same thing as saying I only have 3 liters out of 60. That's 5% of my gas tank that is full right now. I need to go fill up. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, please ask me for help and spend some time working on the following worksheet. Thank you.